How can I make this as song-like as possible?
I don't know. How would you?
From the Moana soundtrack. We Are Who We Are. Yeah. No, well, it took me too long to get around to it, and probably no one remembers that specific song. Welcome to this show. I am still working. I'm working on a name for the community. I don't know if Realist is sticking with me, but I want to be like, welcome, Realists. But whatever the real name is, we'll replace Realists. Welcome to On the Tabletop, a D&D 5e live art show. This is Corsairport, Chapter 21. Connor Hughes did not, in fact, watch Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, so live chat and also YouTube, please harass him. Listen, last episode, I said it. He had 2 weeks to watch 1 hour. I don't ask a lot out of him. Just that one specific thing.
Well, my wife and I, we had a routine of watching this other show, Dark,
I understand.
So I mean, you can't interrupt that flow. That's like, you just can't do that.
Connor Hughes had a lot to say this week about the nature of heroism and taking responsibility. So we hope to put that into practice here and now to see if Connor can measure up against Connor Hughes.
Probably not.
It's gonna be tough.
I mean, that is why it's an ideal, I suppose, right? So
Connor is also drawing, I think he's drawing the new Ashe here, and it is a glow up. Instead of old Ashe, we now have, if Ashe was done in the Hercules art style.
How does this Hercules art style all of a sudden?
Listen, that's very Hercules.
Well, he was always, yeah. He's always like been in that like vein to some degree. He's been a hodgepodge.
It's very strong right here. I'm feeling it.
Cool.
Listen, bro, I'm vibing with it. Don't ruin it now.
Oh, I'll probably ruin it at some point. That's how it goes.
For anyone that watches BattleTech, you should know that Radasaurus took a number of cheap shots at Connor Hughes in last week's episode. Like, took a considerable portion of 5 minutes to trash Connor Hughes.
I was 5 minutes. I'm not sure about that.
Did you watch it?
I did.
Okay, yeah, he took about 5 minutes to take shots at you.
Look,
it wasn't in any look. It's not in a solid block, but every few minutes he gets in another shot at Connor Hughes.
That's true. Yeah, it was distributed over the course of maybe a half hour, I would say.
I also believe in distributing Connor Hughes jokes. What else can I say? You know how some GMs prepare things for their players? This week I prepared nothing. There are no encounters ready. There are no battle maps ready to go. I have zip, zero, zilch. So if you want to know what a truly improvised play session from Apgamingreal looks like, you're about to get one.
Look forward to it. It's always been good so far.
Yes, but I almost always have a plan, even if you guys go completely off the rails and go, but I thought we were supposed to go into the secret prison.
I definitely thought we were supposed to go into that secret prison.
Yeah, so
I know. Listen, I know you thought that. What else do I have? I don't know. Not much. I've been playing a lot of Hell Let Loose, which I'm not so good at. Except for the things that I'm amazing at.
Yeah? What's that?
Artillery.
Okay. I just stuck to my classic DoD. Remember? Day of Defeat?
I don't know.
You ever play that?
Nope.
Oh, that's like the World War II version of Counter-Strike. It happened around the same time. It was like on the original Source engine.
Okay.
And in the first version of that game, like there was one map where there was just one tunnel between two open areas, and so basically everyone was just fighting this narrow.
There. Yeah,
everyone, and like one person would throw a grenade, and like everyone would have to like scramble. It was pretty fun. They got rid of that map for no reason. I don't know why. But,
I mean, it sounds like you can think of several very good reasons.
It was a lot of fun though, so why get rid of it? But yeah, that was like I think that's like one of the first like World War II games. Maybe
we should play Men at War sometime. Now, look, I know Rob's been playing a lot of Sea of Thieves lately, and maybe we should play Sea of Thieves together sometime. I have not played it.
I love Sea of Thieves.
I have not played it since release, where Radasaurus really screwed me over that one time. I was driving the ship, and I like the sails were down, so I couldn't see where we were going, and he told me we were in a good position. And I said, drop the anchor, and not only did he not drop the anchor, he loaded himself into a cannon and fired himself onto the island. So the ship, of course, crashed into the island at high speed because no anchor was dropped, and we were aimed directly at the island. But he had already shot himself off of the boat, but now we had nowhere to go because our ship had crashed into the island at high speed. But at least Ratosaurus got to have fun for a couple of seconds. That I can't ever forget that one. That moment really sticks with me. Wow, it feels like Ashe gained like 10 years. He's king now. He's replaced his father and all of his older siblings. This is that premium post-game DLC, right? For the epilogue chapter. Ashe in the sequel story.
As the artist, I retain the rights to change the character, how the character looks sometimes.
Listen, you're not just the artist, you're the player of that character.
It's true.
I'm just telling you what I'm seeing, man.
Yeah.
This is the less young, more serious, less fuckboy. There's a whole lot less fuckboy and a whole lot more king. I guess the last thing I have to say is that my guy Conorhughes really likes Suikoden.
Yes.
And these guys are making a new Suikoden called Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes, which I've now backed for 4,000 yen, which I think is somewhere around $40. I'm getting it on PC digitally. You can get it however you want. If you want to make Conorhughes happy, back the game.
It looks really good.
You play as each of all 100 heroes who you summon to your town, and as you unlock more and more in them, the town's functionality grows, and you build up the town in order to stop a coming apocalypse.
Yeah, it's got the same creative, like a lot of the creative team from the original like 1 and 2 game, as well as like the composer from Wild Arms. It's got a lot of good people on the team, so I'm really excited.
We'll see. They sold out all of the premium packages in a couple of hours, and they added more premium packages, but they're all like $250+.
Yeah, I didn't like, none of the extras really like sort of tempted me in. Like a lot of them were like, oh, you can get like a toy, or I don't know, you can get your cat in the game, and yeah, none of that. I just want the game, please.
Is that why you tried to get me to put my cat in the game?
It was a joke. I figured
I'm not putting Amori in this fucking game. She's lucky. Listen, she's lucky that when she crawls into the oven while it's turned on, so that she can steal some of my tomato sauce. She's lucky that oven door stays open. You think I want cat spit in my tomato sauce? She's always doing it. It's crazy. I can't believe the lengths she will go to get boiling hot tomato sauce into her snout.
I've never seen a cat do any of that.
Listen, I want to tell you that for a cat that is scared of everything, she will go to the ends of the earth in order to kill herself. She will put herself in mortal peril if it involves tomatoes.
Tomatoes, really?
Yeah, tomatoes.
For a cat?
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Listen, man, I didn't make this cat. I just have to live with it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You know, speaking of cats, let's talk to Cotton, whose cat has landed behind her doing cat things.
Hi.
As if on command.
I'm Cotton. I doodle and stuff. That's all I really got. I'm here and kind of awake. And we can go to Shep now.
That was quick. All right, so I'm robSHEPart online. I'm back from my surgery, feeling really good, but I got this club on my hand. And I draw D&D characters, creatures, monsters, all kinds of cool stuff. And tonight I'm working on a commission. It's this flat line art, character faces, D&D character faces. That's going to go on merchandise. And that's all I got. Connor, how are you?
Yeah. So you're feeling? How you feeling with that surgery, Rob? Like,
yeah, it's fine. I mean, I'm not doing any painkillers anymore. Fingers move pretty good. They can get relatively straight. They're doing really good. I still got to wear this another week though.
And then it comes off, and then what happens? Like, just that's it? It should be fun?
Yeah, well, no, they don't consider me fully healed for like 6 weeks, but I will be going back to work after this next week of this on, and I might have to be a little bit restricted. Just can't carry too much, but I think I'll be fine. Like
you can always use your, like, you know, you can just use your arm as a stump type of thing, as opposed to using your fingers.
Yeah, which I do that a lot of the times anyway, so.
Yeah. I mean, I worked in food before as well, and so, yeah, you sort of do that kind of thing a lot.
Yep. So it's all good.
Yeah, for me, quiet week, not much really going on, just getting work done. I am super excited about this Suikoden game. I think everyone should check it out because I love the series. Other than that, I've been watching this TV show called Dark. It's a German show. It's on Netflix, and it's really good. It's like maybe one of the best like time travel type shows I've seen. It's really good.
Wait, what's it called?
Dark.
On Netflix. I'll have to look for it. Okay.
Yeah, it's really good.
Interesting. I just watched the first episode of Umbrella Academy today, and you know what?
That's a fun show.
Is it though? It was
fucking
weird.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
The whole first 10 minutes are entirely in unsubtitled Russian.
Better bone up in your Russian, son.
Da.
Yeah.
Nastrovia. You're just saying words that you know that you don't actually know what they mean.
But that's that I think is.
You don't know what it means.
I think it's either cheers or it's.
Yeah. You're just saying. Listen, it's not a bad way to learn the language by mimicking words when you think that they're appropriate. But I mean, that's how a lot of people learn language as a child. But you don't actually know what it means, Connor.
I had one of my bosses at my old job. She was trying to teach me Russian, so I learned a few bits back in the day. I don't remember it though now. It's old. Spasiba, of course, is thank you.
Yeah, I always make fun of that one. I say spicy bar.
Spicy bar.
My wife speaks Russian, so.
Oh, so you should be good. You should be set.
No, I'm not. I'm completely ignorant. She tried teaching me a couple times, and we just break down laughing. It is really hard. It's a hard language.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I've heard good things about Umbrella Academy. I should check it out.
It's quirky but fun. I liked it. I didn't know anything about it, so for me, I was going in completely cold. So maybe that helps my expectations.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about it, but I also not looking forward to continuing it. I mean, I'll give episode 2 a try, and we'll see if it gets any better.
I think it's written by the main singer of My Chemical Romance. Did you know that?
Oh my god! You know what? There's at least one character that makes a lot of sense for. So one guy is just like, I don't know, I just got out of rehab and I'm gonna go do some drugs and then die, and then I guess snort my father's ashes or something. I'm like, what the fuck is this guy? Like, god damn, what a mess.
What a mess.
What a mess.
It's a show of eclectic characters, that's for sure.
I'm telling you, King Heiral right here.
It's the plate, man. The plate will
the plate looks like it got about 50 pounds of chest muscle added. Like, yeah.
That's just the plate. It's going to sit outside the body.
Picked up some gains.
Well, he did get 1 point of strength and resilient, right? So now he can't be pushed around so easily. In theory.
Yeah, I feel like getting pushed around easily is actually such an Ashe Heiral thing, but that's only because he's almost constantly mind controlled every time I see him.
Well, hopefully these will saves should help too.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see about that.
You guys ready to get this thing started?
Yeah. I'm gonna try to see if we can resurrect it.
Let's do it.
No, friends.
Oh yeah.
As you know, August is coming up. and as part of the post intros, I'd like to indicate that I am declaring August the start of pumpkin spice season. So if you are basic like me, please feel free to drink all the pumpkin spice or consume it in any of its various formats without reproach or harassment by anyone. I am the king of pumpkin spice, and I'm telling you, you can do whatever you want starting August 1st. Number 2, have you considered telling your friends and family about Apgamingreal? What better way to give your friends and family something to talk about in the upcoming holidays? Halloween, Thanksgiving, Memorial Day, is that soon? I feel like that's soon.
Yeah, it's coming up.
Talk to your friends and family about your favorite tabletop RPG online shows, and also Apgamingreal, in order to give yourself more to do, more to say. So much to do, so much to see. So what's wrong with taking the Apgamingreal street? Previously on this show, our friends wandered fairly aimlessly into the east looking for a sort of fountain of the youth. They managed to stray south into the Badland Mountains, where they avoided several encampments of Duragar, and then traveled northeast, where they arrived at a sort of plant shrubbery area of dangerous plants. After passing through it, they were told by an individual who calls itself only Druid that they were in a place called the Garden, which is also the wound at the center of all existence, from which Evodrin Evoker, who is also the bad guy from the first season of this show, he's the bad evil dude that the characters like Cazador and all of those wonderful scamps were supposed to seal away again a second time. People didn't recognize the name, so I'm just telling you the two campaigns are connected by that thin thread. Evodrin Evoker was brought out through this wound area, and that anyone that enters the wound will be obliterated instantly. Gizmo, not liking that he'd been prematurely aged, decided to allow himself to be drowned in something that was definitely not water, but looked like it, and came out a Lightfoot halfling, who's almost the same age as he was before. He bought himself a couple of years, I think.
I don't think he did.
He lost like 200 years.
Yeah, but his lifespan's shorter now, is the problem.
Yeah.
That's what I was meaning. He lost like 200 years because his lifespan.
That magic's a bitch, huh? It's like unintended consequences.
And for those who only hit the skip intro, Connor is drawing Ashe Heiral in his new plate armor, where he looks older, wiser, more mature. Less ready to bite his lower lip and be like, damn!
Is it the black and yellow armor?
Yeah, I'll get to that. I'll get to that eventually. I've been thinking about how to do that up. We'll see. We'll see if it works.
Yeah, Ratosaurus zinged me about Black and Yellow. You know what? He told me that the song is about Wiz Khalifa's car, but if you watch the music video, everybody is holding Pittsburgh Steelers, everything. They're holding the terrible towel, they're holding jerseys. I don't know, he might be right. But the music video seems pretty explicit.
I think
Did you say the terrible towel?
Yeah, that's the name of the terrible towel. Google it.
I think the lyrics were about a car, but the music video might be about like representing also Steelers, right? Doesn't that like that? It could be about both, right?
Here you go, Cotton. I'm just gonna send you the terrible towel. Yes. Listen. How do I explain this? I don't know that there is a way to explain Philadelphia and all the weird shit that goes on with it.
I'd never seen that before.
Last time I checked, Philadelphia was still trying to figure out whether Ben Franklin had mysteriously buried a bunch of hookers underneath his home that no one ever knew about.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they found some mysterious. I can't remember if it's a hoax or not, but I recall that in the news for a while there were bones discovered on Ben Franklin's property, secretly buried underneath his house. That dude liked to fuck a lot. Just so we're absolutely clear, Ben Franklin almost certainly banged the Queen of France and a bunch of her court in order to get money for the American Revolution. That dude really liked playing tricks, playing pranks, who's also really racist against German people because he didn't think that they were white enough. Ben Franklin is, the more I learn about him, the more I learn that he's a weird fucking dude.
Interesting.
Imagine thinking Germans weren't white enough. All right. Meanwhile, you all have just gotten the undrowned or the redrowned Gizmo out of the water.
You look pretty different. Gizmo, how are you feeling?
I actually feel okay, but I feel quite different. Let's see, I'm taller. And
Are you taller?
I think I am. Or no, or is it the opposite? I forget. Are halflings taller or shorter?
According to the new D&D manual, it looks like you just have a huge head.
Yes, we're not using that art.
Adorable.
Yeah. I'm not gonna. I don't have itty bitty feet. I'm more halfling style. More hobbit style.
Oh, that's trademarked.
Half man.
I didn't say it. So
somehow I really don't feel that they're going to come after us. I just have that feeling.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
Okay.
You do have a Patreon, which everyone should check out at patreon.com.
are you saying mine or AP?
No, he's saying mine.
Yeah,
He said patreon.com/apgamingreal.
I might ask the druid, and I'll take out Baldrux.
Not the druid.
Druid. Okay. I might ask druid as I take out the Baldrux rib, I believe it was. Can you help our friend? He passed some time ago. Does your magic work on him?
So, again, you can't see this being, and the being says, "Why are you carrying around a old dusty bone, like a leg bone?"
It's our friends.
All right, well, has he been dead for longer than 10 days? I'm gonna guess yes, given the state of that bone.
I don't know.
Maybe
Has
not.
it?
Yes,
Has it been 10 days?
yes, it has been more than 10 days.
It's been more than 10 sessions, certainly, right?
It's
Since
been more than
Baldric.
10 days.
Okay.
Baldric was killed on day 11, and today
Okay.
is day 21.
Okay.
Wait,
So
that's
that makes-
10 days exactly.
That's 10
Yes.
days exactly.
Yes.
He's been dead exactly 10 days.
I mean,
Druid
depends-
says, yeah, he's definitely super dead.
Okay. All right. I understand.
Put the bone on the ground. I will do for it what I can.
What's my read on what this creature will do?
Make an insight check. At disadvantage.
Of course, I mean, naturally. How am I going to read like a void?
Yeah, exactly.
I agree with that.
This is one of the few times I've gotten players to not argue with me when I give them disadvantage. 13. Yeah, you're pretty sure that... What the hell are you doing, Connor?
Sorry, I didn't think it was rolling. I didn't think it was rolling. My bad.
Maybe
Wow,
you
those
shouldn't
are all
use
really good, actually.
Maybe you shouldn't use the D&D Beyond sheet because it seems like it's delaying for a little bit. Anyway,
I didn't. Yeah.
your read on Druid is that Druid seems pretty Druid-like, and that he's about to do some Circle of Life level stuff where that bone is getting buried or consumed. Maybe he's going to give it to his favorite dog.
Well, I know Baldric was like in tune with nature, so I
Yes.
think he would be okay with that as per his own morals. So I suppose I will lay the bone down,
All right.
unless anyone else objects.
I like surprises.
Okay, I'll do it.
Okay, so a 5-foot square opens at your feet. So the dirt literally just disappears and the bone falls into it. And then the dirt reappears. And there's no grass there at all. It's just perfectly flat.
Okay. Well, goodbye, Baldric.
Yeah. Okay then.
So Druid says, I will remind you that what you see here is not what is actually present in this garden. The grass and plants that you see here are all deadly to the touch, to some extent. I have buried Baldric beneath the ground, where he might enrich the soil, and perhaps he might continue the fight against the touch of the wound of the world, purifying it to some extent. Also, he's buried. It's weird for you to carry around the bones of a dead person. Just one bone, too. Like,
Well, there wasn't actually anything else left of him.
That's all we had left.
maybe you should leave him dead next time, Head.
I think Lyra will like kneel down and kind of say a prayer over his grave real quick.
Okay, make a religion check.
Oh,
What do you think praying is?
I was just praying,
like,
you know.
Yeah, like, God, help this man pass into the afterlife? What do you...
You know.
Okay, that's it. Baldric has passed on into the next realm. Where he goes, none may know. Most suspect that his soul will be instantly shredded by the god of death. But it will be quick and painless.
That's what happens to everybody, right?
Yeah.
So
Certainly better than eternal torment.
right. All you can really ask for is efficiency in the process.
It's dark. I've been writing a new D&D setting, and I have to tell you, Connor, your attitude right there would fit in very well in one of the mage-ocracy kingdoms. All you can ask for is efficiency. Oh my god, are you literally gonna draw him with all of his rations and his 200 pounds of equipment?
Of course.
You just tell me. Now, someone had a good idea that Gizmo could make you quick release straps for your load-bearing gear.
Yes.
Yeah, your load-bearing equipment, so that you could just like slap a button or something and the gear would fall off so you can fight. Because otherwise, you're not going to be able to do sword slashes that involve more than like a 45-degree negative angle. Your arm's just not going to be able to go back in that direction.
I mean, what is the appropriate weight limit? And I guess I'll drop my
Your
rations
strength
to that.
score will tell you, but also just use some common sense here. Leave the rations on the horse, man.
Well, they're on. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, yeah, they are on the horse, as well as like some other stuff. But some of it obviously is on this back. It's part of training. It's the Goku training of the D&D world.
What's Ashe's strength?
16 now.
So low.
Yeah, he doesn't have a plus rank.
If you're
So do
a
you have a
Pathfinder
+3
character,
yet?
you'd be at a 22.
Sorry.
Do you have a +3 now?
Yes.
Yes.
Then you can carry over 210 because my carrying capacity is 210 pounds.
Okay. Yeah, it says here on my sheet over carrying capacity, but a lot of that's on.
It's your strength times 15.
But a lot of that's on Echo. I wish the sheet could allow me to divide between like one partition, like partition the inventory, right? Like one into the other.
Well, there's your inventory, and then you can click on other possessions and just type it in.
Yeah, but then I still wouldn't know I wouldn't know like the weight.
You wouldn't need to know the weight if it's on Echo, would you?
Unless
Correct.
it was so much that Echo couldn't carry either.
And you could type in the weight yourself.
Wow.
You're asking me to do work.
It's really
on this.
bad when Cotton zings you, man. Holy shit.
calculating weight limits.
You have to be absolute scum to get Cotton upset with you.
I mean, I never doubted that I was such, I suppose.
I'm also just tired. So
this guy, this druid, the druid has told us about these keys, and we don't know where they might be.
Correct.
Where do you guys want to go?
I don't know. Is there a sector on the map you want to explore? Because I think that's all we're doing is doing random exploration at this point, since we found this quote-unquote river.
I could try and offer a prayer and see if Goose and Gus might guide our direction into something.
you know, I would not mind returning to town to buy more honey. If we don't know where to go yet.
Yeah, I forgot you didn't have. You have the chef feat now. Amazing. So good.
Gotta get your ingredients.
That's definitely going in food dungeon for sure.
Maybe if we circled north on our, like, we made a northern curve trajectory so that we at least scoped out some new territory on our way back. What do you think?
We could do that if you wanted, but the more time it takes me to get back to town, you know, the more time it's gonna be before we eat a good cooked meal.
I think Gizmo's okay. Let's go back to town and get some good food.
Okay, let's do it.
How do you want to do that? It's currently midday. You're still in the garden, which is surrounded by a web of deadly plants.
So I guess I'll ask the druid, is there a safe way out of this garden?
No.
You make it very easy for those of us who help you.
I designed this location to dissuade any but the most foolish and reckless.
Well, we certainly qualify for that.
Yes.
So we will go out and look for these keys that you've asked us to look for. Is there any way that we can have safe
I didn't
passage
ask you to
through?
look for them. You offered your services to me.
But you presented the information about them.
Yes, but I just want to be clear where the obligation lies.
Okay.
This isn't the first time you guys have been like, we feel really bad. We'd like to offer our services. And the person's like, all right, well, undertake this deadly task for me. And you're like, we must now. We absolutely must clear out Bako, kill Blackhand. Then you were like, he made us do it. And I was like, no, you offered to do it and for nothing. You offered to do it for nothing. No reward.
Sometimes the glory is reward in and of itself.
All right, Ashe. No need to tell me that. You need to tell him that in character. So are you actually going to pray to Guzenkas in order to gain insight, or are you all just heading west back to Corsairport?
I will pray. Yeah, before we go. Also,
Okay.
I want to part of that is dedicated to the keys, but also part of that is dedicated to maybe what how Guzengas might feel about, like, wanting to know her will regarding this druid character.
Wow, you're asking for a lot.
Well, I guess I'm scattershotting it. I could make two different
A wisdom check can give you a gut feeling about what the course of action is that you should follow. So you're asking for a lot, and what you're gonna get is probably just like, this sounds good.
Okay.
All right, make a wisdom check. Not a wisdom save, a wisdom check. So what's your actual wisdom
Take
bonus?
6 off.
Yeah, I have a +0 for wisdom.
Okay, so you have a 10 wisdom check then.
Okay.
You feel a strong urge to go nowhere. You feel like you've arrived at your destiny. It's here. Glory is to be found in this location.
I guess I will say to people, I don't know, there might be something else here that we need to take a look at before we head out.
Druid says, there's literally nothing else here. Of course, everything here is bathed in illusion, so that your mind does not instantly shatter under the weight.
Is there any way that I might know how to break such an illusion?
I could remove it, but again, you would all go instantly insane.
Let's not do that, Ashe.
Well, that was an out of character question. Like, if I could make a roll to know
dispel magic.
Dispel magic would do it.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Okay.
True seeing.
I think I'm going to interpret the read about that the destiny lies here is the fact that these keys that we need to get for this creature is that destiny. And so,
you know, it's up to you to determine what those gut feelings mean and what your destiny is.
Exactly. So that's what I'm gonna say. And then
even if you're totally wrong.
Well, I can only do what
yeah,
I can do.
Listen, people misinterpreting the will of God, that there are several biblical stories. Let's not even concern ourselves with the Bible. There are numerous religions where that happens.
So I'm in good company, is what you're saying.
Yeah, listen, let me tell you about a whale.
I've seen that movie.
Movie?
Pinocchio.
Oh my god. No, what? Listen, the story of Pinocchio does involve a whale, but it's not the same as the biblical story of Job.
No.
I mean,
we did.
It's a purposeful misinterpretation of your statement for humorous value.
Oh, conorhughes, one of these days, pow! Straight to the moon.
So I guess we'll be heading out then. And I guess we'll make the same jumps that we made before, but
sure. Let's have everybody make.
But we're going to be going west. We're going to be going west. That's an athletics check?
Yes.
Or a save check?
It's athletics, I think, is what we did last time.
I think can I cast guidance on Echo and myself again as we try to make the jump? Well, I guess he's already over it. Never mind.
Ashe needs no guidance. He goes forward.
Okay, but you're not taking your horse with you.
Why not?
I'm asking
because
you.
your horse is on this side of it's in the wound with us.
Well, I was riding.
Okay, then the horse needs to make the roll, not you. Now, of course, a 17 is a perfectly fine roll.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
let's be clear, the glory belongs not to you, but to Echo's magnificent prance. All right?
Well, I mean, it's all about how you got.
I want to be clear that when Echo is in the air, we have that mid-level shot with two hooves basically perfectly level forward, the two hooves back. All right, 16, you're over. All right, what are you going to do about Gizmo now that Gizmo is left alone?
Because I cast Levitate on his donkey and pull it over like I did last time.
Very well.
Okay. And Gizmo
pull Greta the
jump
friendly
over.
steed over top of the horrifyingly lethal plant line. Land on the far side.
Mm-hmm.
What's the plan now? You have exited the garden.
I guess we're heading back to town, Corsairport.
How do you want to do that?
To score some honey. Well, it's midday. Let's make ground what we can.
Sure. What direction do you want to go?
I believe that's west, right?
It is west. However, you'll need to make a roll to head west because you did not approach this location in a northeast. You approached it in a northeasterly way, which means that you've never explored west at all.
I remember having the conversation with Acid. He was messing up Lyra's internal compass.
Correct. This is
By going
exactly
around
what
in a
happened.
circle.
Yep.
All right. So who makes that roll?
I assume
Who's leading the
me,
party?
unless
Leave.
somebody else wants to do it.
Oh, Lyra, you're in charge.
Okie dokie. Do I roll survival?
Yes. Okay. That's a 9. So, all of you are traveling west in the open scrublands. We're talking lots of small bushes, lots of small greenery, some rocks everywhere. Can I get perception checks from everyone? Ooh, Gizmo with the 8. Ashe Heiral.
Mm-hmm.
What is your local experience with dragons? I want to ask if you've ever seen or heard of dragons before.
I think Ash would have heard of dragons. I don't know how common they are in Hammerhold or in the land.
Probably not terribly common, but
Not terribly common, but I would assume that, legends have been told about maybe an ancestor or two having slain a dragon. That's about probably the extent of his knowledge. Is that fair?
okay. Yeah. Oh, good sir. It certainly is fair.
I think it's fair.
You remark about how behind you, popping from out of the ground, an enormous blue worm, several dozen feet long, unfurls its wings and begins to soar into the sky following you. It's probably 1,000 or more feet behind you, but you can see surrounding it is a cloud of rocks being held in place by an electrical field arcing between the rocks and its body.
Okay. Ash will point out to everybody.
So everyone stops and turns, and you see this dragon 1,000 feet behind you, following you at much faster speed than you are. At about 100 feet up in the air, surrounded by a cloud of rocks.
Dragons, of course, are intelligent creatures.
Oh,
Right.
that's bad.
It's a blue dragon? Those are evil, right?
So allow me to describe it. Its head is about 6 feet long, covered in shining blue scales. The blue is not Twitter blue, nor is it a dark blue. It's almost sort of a greenish tan blue. It's kind of disturbing to look upon because the scale's color changes depending on the reflection of the sun in it. So as its wings are beating and as its sinuous body is moving up and down, its scale color changes with every angle reflection.
Can I roll to see if I know what this is?
Yes, it is a Arcana. It has 2 tiny little forepaws and 2 big rakish rear claws and a long tail. Gizmo, this dragon is super evil. You've heard stories that dragons are evil and they're bad and they're dumb. Connor, Ash also knows that. He knows that most dragons are majestic and grand and that dragons that are colorful are bad. Lyra, you know that this dragon is a young dragon, that dragons of this subtype are capable of burrowing beneath the earth and generating electric fields. They have a fairly savage bite and wicked claws. But the most important part about them is that they cannot be harmed by electricity and in fact imbue their mouths with electrical power. So when it bites or when it sprays its vomit at people, it is imbued with electricity.
Do I also know that it's evil?
Yes.
Okay.
They are, now let's just be clear. It is not that they're said that they're evil. Only fools who make a low roll believe that it's evil. You know that it is avaricious, that blue dragons are malice-filled. They're spiteful. They hate that they are left to the places of the earth where there is nothing else. The other dragons have forced them to these locations. They hunt things that have great wealth to acquire that wealth and for nothing more. They need not consume the flesh of mortal beings. They want only their wealth. They're vain and arrogant. So nothing screams evil, just terrible and bad.
That's fair.
Do we have any cover nearby? Or
You are in a scrublands for dozens of miles in every direction.
Yep.
I feel the need to run, but I don't know how far that'll get us. That is an electrical.
You believe that if you run, you might get its interest. Like if you start running, it's gonna be like, oh, it's a game.
Oh, okay.
Predator and prey type game.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Oh, so it's one final thing. It's an intelligent creature and it can speak common, is what you know.
Oh, okay.
It could be negotiated with if it doesn't just murder you for your stuff.
That dragon might want to rob us.
Rob us? What would we possibly have that a dragon would want?
Money.
All right, well, as you're
Riches.
talking, the dragon grows closer and closer.
Can we be talking and walking?
Which direction are you walking? Towards it or away from it?
Away.
Okay.
You're the person of knowledge. We'll follow your lead.
I don't know.
That's okay. We might
Don't
wanna
follow my lead. I don't want to be in charge. She's just explaining what she knows about the dragon as they're walking. And,
All right.
she goes, it has an electrical bite. They are fairly vain sometimes.
How far, like, how quickly is it approaching us in the sense that, like, how soon will it be upon us?
You are
say?
walking away from it?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me do some math here real quick. It'll be on you in about a minute.
Ashe, you might be able to talk to it. You seem fairly persuasive at times.
If this dragon's evil,
It's not necessarily evil. It's avaricious.
greed,
Sure, it looks evil to me.
unrepentant greed seems like a evil quality enough to me. About how, like, do we know how tough this thing is? Can we?
Not on a roll of a 8.
Okay.
What about a 15? Is that what I got?
It's a dragon, so it's automatically going to be pretty tough.
This is not necessarily a fight we want to get into, Ashe.
Gizmo looks around. I don't see how we can avoid this creature.
Then let's walk towards it and see what it wants.
Okay.
Well, if it's coming upon us, we may as well embrace it.
I think we should.
Sure.
I think we should maybe spread out slightly so we don't get nuked like we have in the past.
Yeah.
Okay, go for it. Ashe is riding on Echo. I think I will cast. I'll cast protection from evil and good
Okay.
on myself, which also in turn applies it to Echo.
Does it?
Anything you cast on yourself. Oh wait, no, I'm not. Let me just check out that.
So you guys tell me how you're spread out here. I've set up a little map for you. We've got Ashe riding Echo. We got Gizmo riding Greta. Horse Ballista hasn't been summoned yet. We have Lyra. You're saying they're spreading out. The dragon is coming from east to west, chasing you.
So where is the dragon in this little map? Which
It
direction?
will be coming from this side of the map. I'm drawing on the wrong side. Give me a moment.
This side, right? Like I'm
It's
looking
coming
at.
from this direction.
Yeah.
So he's heading this way. So you've all spread out. You've put like 20 to 30 feet between all of you.
Yeah, I think about 30.
Sure.
Okay, so Ashe and Gizmo, both of your mounts begin freaking out when from 100 feet up and a few dozen feet behind you, the rocks lose their electrical charge and begin falling towards the earth. So it's almost like a shroud surrounding you, almost like you're being suppressed so that you shouldn't be able to run. The dragon swoops down to about 30 feet above all of you and spreads its majestic webbed wings, which have taken on a green membrane-ish look. You can see the blood flowing through them. That takes on a purplish color. The creature opens its maw. Its tongue does not move, but words come out. Does anyone speak Draconic?
Negative.
No, I don't think so.
Then you hear a mighty Draconic roar.
Ashe will say in common, Mighty Dragon, you seem to have pursued us. What do you want from us?
You speak the common language.
Yes.
Such a tongue has not been spoken here.
And
We are
yet you speak
not
it
from
so
here.
eloquently.
All right, listen, when you say that, the dragon's tail goes from being in like a hanging beneath it to like curling up, and it shifts its weight back and kind of ups its claws, its front claws. Flattery will get you everywhere. I am Vror Lunder, the lord of this land.
So,
Hello, Vror.
to meet
I'm
you,
Prince.
Vorlander.
When you
Heiral.
say Vror, it roars again in Draconic and flaps its wings toward you. Your whole body is being like pressed into Echo. Echo like bows under the weight of its wing motion as it says, Vror Lunder.
Greetings, Vorlander. I'm Ashe, and these are my friends, Lyra and Gizmo.
What are friends doing in my lands without my permission?
We were not aware that these were your lands.
Yeah, we were heading back to our own lands. Didn't mean to trespass.
And yet you have.
There was no markings for us to identify that these were anyone else's lands other than the wilds.
Before you finish talking, it lets out another shriek in Draconic. A just sort of wordless roar.
You keep these lands beautiful.
It sticks out its lower jaw like, yeah, that's right.
Gizmo looks at Lyra and gives a thumbs up. Keep going.
I have kept you safe and prevented great danger from befalling you as you travel in my territory, even if I could not be with you at the time. I
That's
am
very
owed
kind.
compensation for my hosting duties. You seek to leave with not addressing yourself to me, nor of making gifts.
What could humble travelers such as ourselves offer a great being such as you?
I look upon you and I see great wealth shining from your bodies. Can you think of naught that you might present to a being such as myself? It lowers itself onto the ground and sticks its head towards Ashe's. So to be clear, its head is bigger than your entire body. It's quite close. Like, you could whip out your sword and probably try to slice its thick scaled neck right now. As it's getting close enough that you think he might actually go past your head and try to like sniff around behind you. Do you do anything or react in any way?
No.
Okay. It actually does go past you and takes a deep scent and says, "The blood is not human."
That's correct.
I smell the scent of kings upon you. And blood.
We have done our share fair of fighting.
It pulls its head back and points one of its...
That's okay. Ashe is nervous.
Yeah.
It points one of its razor-sharp claws, each claw as thick as your arm, sharpened to a gleaming edge, at your armor, Ashe, and says, "You would carry such trinkets through my land, and yet you have nothing to offer those who protect you."
Mighty Dragon, I'll offer you something.
It shifts its head and begins lumbering its body. So it sinuously, like huge shoulder motions as it moves forward, right? We're not talking like side to side motion. We're talking like up down motion as it moves towards you. What do you have to offer, small one?
I'll offer you a meal and some gold.
So it extends its head out towards yours and takes a sniff of you and says, "There is not enough here to satisfy me. Your meat is meager, tiny one."
No, not me. I'll cook you something. When's the
She's
last
quite
time you've had a
good.
cooked meal?
She's quite good at those meals.
It's for flavor as opposed to fulfillment.
When you say that, electricity runs from its nose. You watch it arc over each of its scales down its body. It's like a wave of electricity. Each time it moves, it splits into two more parts, creating a sort of blasting landscape down its entire length. Interestingly, though, it doesn't run over the membrane of the wings. The dragon says, "I will accept your meal, but this is hardly compensation for one such as myself."
I will, of course, add some gold and as well as gems. Or a gem.
What gold might you carry that would satisfy the needs of a dragon? Allow me to gaze upon your gem, son of a king.
It is a Chrysoberyl. Chrysoberyl.
Okay. How big is this gem? What's it worth?
It's worth 100.
All right, that's considerable. So the dragon looks upon it and says, "Interesting. I will have it."
Take it with goodwill. Might we ask you a question about your lands?
And you, so it ignores you and says, "And you, halfling, what do you offer?"
Gizmo looks behind him. Oh yeah, I'm a halfling.
The dragon lets out a sound. It's not a roar this time. It's more like a grumbling mutter.
I don't mean to offend you, dragon. It's just that I am not quite myself today. So I'm a bit out of place. I know I have 100 gold piece gem too, but I don't remember what type it was.
Should be on your character sheet.
Well, it should be. It should be on my notes.
The dragon says exactly that.
Yeah. Like, I don't even have it in my notes.
Suddenly its
Maybe I
face
don't
looks
have it.
exactly like mine for some reason.
I go, mighty dragon. I have, just spare coin. I don't have a gem like my compatriot. Some copper, some silver. I just don't have the treasures that my compatriot has.
What use have I for coin in this place? It starts taking a look over you and says, that upon your arm, it is magical, is it not?
It is a type of temporary magic.
All magic is temporary.
So, now, you said on my arm, you mean to you, AP, you mean the weapon?
Yeah, he's indicating your
Yeah.
crossbow.
Yeah. I go, I have to say this is my only weapon to be able to get through these lands safely. I would be pretty much unarmed if I were to offer up this. Perhaps you'll take this new cloak I found.
The dragon looks at the cloak and says, what use have I for a cloak? But as it's looking at it, it's like, that's a good cloak.
So
the dragon gets close to it and takes a deep sniff of it and says, there is magic here, to some extent, but it is cursed. You would offer me a cursed item? Do you think me a fool?
I don't think you a fool. I just assumed you would understand the abilities of the cloak far more than I would. It is something that has just arrived in my hands. Geez, what, 30 minutes ago? Half hour ago?
The dragon turns and slams its tail on the ground next to Greta, causing her to jump. As it marches away, it stretches its neck and upper body up and says, you are correct to assume that I would understand exactly how this item works. My knowledge of magic is vast and deep. I will take your trinket from you. It is suitable tribute.
So just to clarify then, with the offerings that we've given and the food that's being offered, does that allow us free passage out of your lands?
You would question my generosity?
We are offering...
Have I not spoken plainly? Yes. You will prepare me the meal now, which I will sup upon. And on that meal, I will decide your passage.
Can I cast guidance on myself before I cook? That's a lot of pressure.
What do you say for your guidance, since it is a verbal spell and requires you to like say, "Oh God, please help me."
She goes,
May the light of Lathander shine on you always.
Wellwyn, please bless my me and give me the abilities to cook a meal fitting of a dragon.
You get the idea that Wellwyn is a little reproachful because cooking is not one of her many domains. It's a little beneath the judge of the gods.
Yep.
And stack.
Sorry, what was the question?
Can guidance stack?
No.
Like two separate castings
No.
won't help? Okay.
Good luck.
Okie doke.
Well, you have to tell me what you're cooking first.
Oh, I'm probably just gonna cook a stew with some of the meat that I collected from my Outlander feature. Because you said there was animals over here.
Yes.
And I also have rice and mushrooms that I'm going to use the last of. And I think I have a bag of root vegetables. So there's going to be like potatoes and carrots in the stew as well.
So you're making like a meerkat mushroom stew featuring
Salted.
villager food, essentially. Oh, we're putting salt in here?
Yeah.
It's a good start.
I think I have a bag of spices too. It's, it's getting all of everything I got is putting in this stew. I have pepper.
Okay.
Hold on, I have a list of my spices. Yeah, I think it's just I just have like salt and pepper, and then the root vegetables, rice, mushrooms, and I have some raw beans, but I don't know if they taste that good in there. It's, you know, it's a hearty stew, hopefully.
Make your roll.
Is it survival?
I'd say so. Well, let me double check because your new feat just lets you do this to some extent. So let me reread the feat.
I also have like cook's tools. I don't know if that helps.
It does. We'd probably use proficiency with that instead. Yeah, so because you took chef, you have proficiency with those utensils. You prepare enough food for a number of creatures equal to 4 plus your proficiency bonus. Yeah, you just automatically do it. You don't need to make a roll.
Okay.
But we will make a roll to see how good it is.
Okay.
And
It's a 16.
a 16.
Which isn't the best, but...
Is that with your cook's tools proficiency instead of survival? I would also allow it to be wisdom. So are you proficient in wisdom, basically? You're muted.
It would still be +5 if it was proficiency plus wisdom.
Okay, then yes. You've created enough for everyone here and 4 portions for the dragon, which should be enough to feed a large dragon.
I think while she's cooking, she seems very nervous.
So after you get bowls for everybody else, the dragon literally just drinks directly out of the cook pot with no manners. It just picks it up, rears itself up back, and glug, 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 then puts it down and lets out a blast of electricity that it's like vomiting electricity. There's literally like a little bit of dragon vomit that goes into it, but then the vomit like catches fire from the electricity and evaporates. It lands down on the ground enough that probably like everybody jumps a little bit, like an earthquake. And the dragon stares at the 3 of you and says, "Drink your soup, and you tell me how it is."
I guess Ashe will drink his soup.
Gizmo will dig in.
I'll eat my soup.
Very happy Gizmo is.
So how is the soup, Cotton? Why don't you tell us?
I mean, I think it's good. Lyra's probably a little disappointed because it's not her best cooking. But I don't know what you want me to tell you.
Okay. The dragon moves towards Gizmo and sits before him, you know, on its haunches, 2 legs in front, almost like paws, pulled up to full sitting height, and says, "Is this one not a wizard?"
So I have some magical ability, yes.
Is it also an assassin?
Oh no, that's not my trade.
You have the tools of such trade about you, do you not?
What tools would those be?
Don't you have like thieves' tools?
I do have thieves' tools, but
Yes.
those are not assassin tools.
Okay.
Those are
So-
for being in and out.
A thief then. And a wizard.
I think of myself more as a tinkerer and an explorer. Sometimes these tools come in handy in getting in places which might be locked up.
Are you powerful? Wise? Intelligent?
I have been known to be mildly intelligent when I'm not making stupid decisions.
I will allow you to serve me as my agent.
Serve you.
Yes, pledge your loyalty to me.
Mighty Dragon, I am exploring these lands and I'm a free agent. I thought we had offered up a fair trade for our leaving of these lands.
I offer you the opportunity of your lifetime.
I don't know what it would mean to me to be sworn to a dragon, even one as mighty as yourself.
The dragon appears almost as if it is baffled and gets up and moves away from you, but it almost hits you when it turns around and it swishes its tail, and like the tip of the tail is moving so fast that it raises like a wave of rubble that hits you. And the dragon almost annoyedly says, "You do not know the benefits of serving a dragon? Of Roarlunder?"
Excuse my ignorance, but where I come from, the dragons are not common, and we do not know.
Where I come from, any being would leap to serve me. Your offering was good enough. This time, I shall allow you to pass. Your soup could use some pepper.
That's fair.
I will go now, friends, and allow you to continue your travels. But know that I am watching everything, always here. For these are the lands of Roarlunder.
Roarlunder, I have one question, though. The next time we come through these lands, is there anything specific that you would request as payment? Because on our adventures, maybe we'll keep an eye out for something that might please you.
It stands at its full height and uses one of its claws to wipe its mouth of the soup and says, "This one is pleased with sapphires and other gems that match the shine of its scales."
These scales do have a magnificent color.
It whips its head towards you and says, "So you noticed?"
Of course.
Good.
It's visible for us from miles, or from a great distance.
It pulls itself onto its rear legs and stands up on those rear legs. We're talking full height, tip to tail.
It is a favorite color of mine.
Good.
And you wear it so well.
How can I wear that which I am? It is simply me. It's saying this in a sort of gruff way, but you can tell it's actually kind of pleased that you would say that. The dragon puts its feet on the ground and says, "Tonight, this land will burn. If you remain here, you will be protected from my wrath."
Can I ask why you
Right
burn
here
it?
in this spot?
Yes. Do not move from here. You would ask the master of an estate why he must do what he must do?
I'm simply
Son
curious
of the
as to your
king?
ways. I'm simply curious as to your ways, as one landlord to another.
The plants here must die and turn to ash to fertilize the meager lands, to supplement the harvest for my beloved cacti.
Of course. That makes sense.
I have no more favorite treat than to drink from a goblet of cactus, that most delicious wine from inside it.
Maybe next time we cross paths, I will make you a cactus treat.
It snarls at you, and electricity begins running up and down its body as it says, Do not dare touch the trees upon my land.
No, I would get a different cactus and bring it to you.
All cactuses within this land are my cactuses.
That's fair.
So it begins physically sinking into the sandy, rocky ground until only its eyes are present looking at you, almost like an alligator popping its head out of the water, and then even that sinks into the ground as well. And there's no trace that a dragon literally just dropped through the ground right there. It looks totally normal.
Truly, that was a very strange encounter.
So let's make camp here.
That seems wise. I think we'll be in for a light show tonight. This entire land will burn.
That's what he said. Was it a he?
It did not identify its gender, but you would guess it was masculine. Yes. You didn't get a good look at the draconic parts that one would enable. Your knowledge, given your role, your knowledge of draconic gender traits is probably not so good.
Yeah, I could only make a guess based on the tone of its voice.
Yes,
But who knows?
Listen, that tone of voice is a very reasonable tone of voice to make a guess from. It was quite vainglorious.
So who wants to set up camp?
I will. Unless, yeah, sure, I'm fine with doing it tonight. That's a survival roll, I believe.
It is.
Correct? All right. I'm great at these.
I'll assist him. Because she doesn't trust him to do it by himself.
We know what happens last time I tried. Wow. Gizmo laughs at Ashe.
Wow,
I know how you feel.
I got a 14.
Sure, you did get a 14 because Lyra was helping you. You get everything set up in the kind of time that you're looking for. Before
Like he's setting stuff up and then Lyra's going behind him and fixing it.
So, the temperature drops from summertime mid 70s to mid 40s immediately. The wind begins to pick up to about 10 miles an hour, and your ability to see things is rapidly diminished by darkening storm clouds cutting out the night sky. As the sun sets, as the last sun ray peaks over the horizon, lightning begins blasting all around you and rain begins pouring down in a thunderstorm. All of your tents are rocked by this continuous deluge. Fortunately, because Lyra is good enough to give you that advantage, your tents are a little bit up off the ground. You somehow place them up there as all of the land around you floods immediately. The scrubland is oversaturated with water quite quickly. As you look outside, you can see that even in the damp wetness, plants are being struck by lightning directly, almost eerily, and the flame spreads, again, even in the wetness, over the land. Almost as if guided by a supernatural entity. Some parts of the storm stop in locations, and the flame soars from one side of the scrubland to another, almost in like mile round circles. Shit is crazy out here. The lightning has taken on a very purple blue tinge, and it is near constant. We're not talking once every couple of minutes, we're talking a couple of times a minute all around you. Somehow your camp is never hit directly. You think that if you had still been traveling out in this would have been a nightmare.
So Gizmo's like, at least we know now the dragon is good for its word.
And we also know that in that case he might be always watching us. So maybe bear that in mind. Ash is going to be wondering. I don't know if he visibly says this or not, or audibly says this or not, but he's wondering if Lyra might feel this is the somehow connected to Wellwind.
Does he say it audibly?
Yeah, you gotta. Yeah.
I'm trying to think what he would do. No, I don't think so. I think he'd wait for you to assess what it might be, and kind of try and be reading you and how you might be interpreting it.
Is that your way of meta playing there, Connor?
It's like a dragon showed up and told you that there's going to be lightning and fire tonight, and then you're like, wow, there's fire and lightning tonight. I wonder if someone else caused it.
Well, I mean, the main question is for me is like, well, whether or not the two things are connected. But anyway, that's what Ash is thinking. I mean, I don't know.
Lyra's just got like the tent little flaps open, and she's just enjoying the storm.
Okay.
Listen, if you're a fan of thunderstorms, this is a big one. It's probably not the worst one you've ever seen, but it's almost certainly the worst one that you've ever seen that hasn't been on land. This is like a roaring at sea storm. Damn it, you've never been on the ocean. I can't describe
Me?
it. Yes, you.
No, I have not been on the ocean.
Correct. Then I don't know how to describe an oceanic thunderstorm to you, but it's actually...
But I have been in massive thunderstorms and tornadoes.
Yes, this is as bad or worse than that.
I've been in a bomb cyclone.
Okay, yeah, this is not as bad as that. But there is some flooding. You realize that if you hadn't got these things off of the ground, you'd be looking at like an inch deep of water. Not how you want to spend your night, especially not with electricity.
That's fair. There was a big fan of thunderstorms, so she's just super happy right now. It's not as good as like one of Wellwind storms, but you know, it's pretty close.
Do you say that?
That it's not as good as Wellwind storms?
Yes.
No.
Okay, good. Do you all set a watch order? From my understanding, you're all in different tents, maybe? Or have you created one giant mega tent?
I think Ash would probably make different tents.
Okay. That's very chaste of you.
Yes.
Gentlemanly, polite.
Preserving everyone's honor, I suppose,
Yeah.
is
Dignity,
is the,
yeah.
Yes.
Gonna be awfully hard to do watch, then.
Well, we're watching outward, right?
Yeah, I would point out that with tents, you can really only look out in one direction.
Well, you do what you can when you're on watch.
So who so
Well,
you're
when you're
saying
on-
there is a watch, and who is on watch?
When you're on watch, wouldn't you patrol the camp
Yeah, exactly.
anyway?
You're gonna go out in this weather? Sure. I feel like I'm
I'll
watching
see
off
what
World
you're
War II
saying.
movies of the guards going, I can't believe we're stuck on patrol in this weather.
We have to go out in the weather to wake up who's ever in the other tent.
That's true. No one has the message spell or whisper.
I mean, if you've got your cloak on, it's not too bad.
I don't know that I have the cloak. Oh, well, you just a cloak. Yeah.
You've got your cloak. You've got your cloak of the frog. I mean, that's
No.
specifically designed.
No,
He
he
gave
traded
it
it
That
to
was
with
the
the
just
dragon.
that was just
You
off
guys-
the dragon.
traded
You guys
it?
gave the
Wow.
gems and the cloak. Well, I went through all this trouble to make up this cloak.
Hey, it was a
Connor
nice cloak,
drew
but
it.
I gotta keep my weapon.
Yeah, I'm disappointed. Maybe you'll get another one. Maybe we could.
I'll take the first watch so that I can watch the
Gizmo.
storm.
Gizmo will. Oh, you want to take first watch? Okay, fantastic. Gizmo takes second.
Okay, I'll take last.
Or wait, would I be able to tell when the storm's going to be like the biggest?
Maybe. Let me see if Air Ganassi get anything with that. I know you guys have some lightning-y powers. We're gonna see. You do have a remarkably strong connection to the storm. So you believe that the storm is going to continue to grow in violence until midnight, when it will dissipate without warning.
So it's going to be like at its peak at midnight?
Yes.
Is that the second watch or the third watch?
Let's call it second watch.
Then I will switch Gizmo if he will let me.
Absolutely, no problem.
Okay. No need to roll. Nothing happens. All creatures in this land fear the wrath of the dragon, Vorlunder, and he has personally assured your safety for the night, and this night only. This is like Warhammer 40k, Ash. If you remove the backpack and you gave him a gun, he would look perfectly in place in Warhammer 40k.
He'd need a gigantic mustache.
What?
Right?
What is that? What you believe Warhammer 40k characters look like?
Oh, sorry, 40k. I was thinking Warhammer.
No, Warhammer 40k. 40k. No, like a battle brother of the Heiral chapter. Just like all the Space Marines, you don't wear a helmet either, despite the fact that that's a terrible plan.
I thought the Space Marines did wear helmets. I thought it was the
almost
Empire.
all of the named Space Marines do not wear helmets. They take their helmets off, except when they're in space.
That's just that checkbox on the RPG games now.
Yeah,
where,
yeah.
Like you can,
Hide helmet. Yes.
Hide helmet. Exactly.
It's so that when you're playing your Final Fantasy character, you don't have to use that ridiculous headpiece in cinematics.
Right. I'm thankful for it. I like being able to turn it off.
What are you doing now, Connor? I don't know. What is this dark magic that you're doing?
I think I'm gonna try and create like a small little image for the map where Ash is writing Echo.
I see. All right. Morning comes.
What's the like landscape look like after all that?
Landscape looks a lot like a wet, smoldering mess.
Yeah.
There are numerous locations that have what are essentially mile-wide crop circles of flaming detritus. You notice that almost everywhere that the lightning and fire didn't touch, there's cactuses. Cacti.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, Ash is definitely going to try and avoid those cacti. Seems
Good call.
Seems prudent.
So you're going to walk through areas that were just burned down?
Isn't every area burned down around us?
Not every area. I'm just, you're purposely going to intentionally walk through burned areas.
I'm going to avoid the cacti if our only option outside of the, we could just avoid the cacti just by a matter of a few feet.
Sure. Listen, I'm clarifying. I want to know if you're like, there's a cactus there. Let us stay several hundred feet away from it.
No,
or if you're going, there's a cactus there, let's make sure not to trample on it. Those are two different things.
Let's not trample on the cactus.
Let's not trample on the cactus, exactly.
Okay. And you're going where exactly?
We're going west, I believe.
Okay. Let's see.
Due west towards Corsairport.
Can I get your survival check, Lyra?
Sure. I got 23.
You travel without issue for about 20 miles west. Sometime around 2/3 of your way through your journey, you notice the cloak of the frog mage has been spread over a sandy area. You see it just sitting there in the open. It's been draped on a rock to make it look even more dramatic. But for you, you see the area around it and go, that's a sinkhole. Anyone that walks out there to get it is going to fall in it and die instantly.
Hey, look, there's a sinkhole over there.
You see the clasp of the frog mage with the cloak around it, sitting on a rock. in the middle of a sandy area.
Lyra, I'm glad you determined that, because I would have been stupid enough to gone and retrieved it.
I mean, it seems if it's seems we should retrieve it if it's sitting there.
I feel like it's a test, and that's why it's over a sinkhole.
A test to be surmounted.
A test to our character.
All right. That could make sense. You think he's Vorlandor is tempting us?
When you say his name wrong, you hear from, it takes a while, but you hear from miles away a sort of roaring growl as if distant thunder.
What was his name again?
Vorlander.
Vorlander. Okay, I'll write it down, I suppose.
Yeah, I'll write it down
Vorlander.
for you.
Ash, if you cannot remember his name, maybe you should call him the Lord of the Land or something.
It's a good call.
There you go. I put it in Roll20.
I'm sure he would appreciate Lord more than his butchered name.
It's possible. My question stands, though. Is that what you think?
It's stealing. It's not ours anymore.
Unless he doesn't want it anymore. Okay. I have no attachment to it.
We could ask.
I'm thinking like you are, that it was a test of character. And since it was given for passage, as tempting as it is to get it, I think it might be best to leave it there.
I did not mean to derail you guys out of character. You can go get it if you want. I'm so sorry.
No, that's in character. Gizmo agrees with you.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, not at all.
Gizmo agrees with you. So you just remember, Gizmo is hot for magic items, all right? But, you know, he's trying to learn how this world works a little bit better. So he's a little bit more, I'd say after becoming a halfling, he might be a little bit more cautious.
Well, he's certainly seen the power of magic up front and close.
Yeah. Let's put it this way. I think changing race is affecting Gizmo more than you might think. So the old Gizmo probably would have gone for it.
Mm-hmm.
The old Gizmo probably would have. Oh yeah, well, I'm not going to say that till we're out of the scrublands.
What's a cool cloak, though?
It had potential. I was looking forward to it.
Listen, I'm doing my very best to not break out into singing Playing with the Big Boys from the Prince of Egypt soundtrack. Because it starts out with the power of Ra! Moot.
You would be surprised the amount of times Pondo randomly sings that.
It's a great song. You just have to say a lot of unusual Egyptian words in short order. So you are going to leave this thing and ride past?
It's on the sinkhole. Yeah, there's no clear sign that it's meant as an invitation. So that's my vote to ride past.
Okay.
Okay, you ride past. You set up camp. Lyra, with your directional sense, you think that you're several miles short of the first fire pit that you made when you got here. The one right where you were surrounded by lions for a short time.
Okay. So we won't be able to make it? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, you're not going to be able to make it there tonight unless you push yourselves. But you could set up another fire pit right here.
We can't make it to the first fire pit unless we, like, try and book it there. We could just make another one here if you wanted.
I'm okay going the extra distance if you guys are.
Okay. You really just want to bring out those Hercules songs tonight, huh?
Go the distance, that's right.
It is easy for you to say that when you ride a horse.
Ooh, wow. When that happens, Echo whinnies as if laughing at... Doesn't say anything to you, Ashe, but just laughs. Oh, and she side trots too. You know, she does that horse sidestep.
Like a canter,
Yeah.
I think.
And she walks in a circle. Just to make it really clear that she found that funny.
I didn't realize you found the walk so strenuous.
I'm fine. I'm walking. You're the one who apparently has a strenuous time walking.
I have no problem walking.
I don't think
just
I've ever
ready-
seen you walk at distance.
I'm always ready for battle. Although, I mean, we have, yeah. I mean, in terms of like crossing land, yeah. But you wouldn't have seen Ashe walk that kind of distance.
Just keep in mind when you say push ourselves, you really mean push Echo, Greta, and I. Unless
Running,
you're going to walk.
if I thought the challenge was necessary, I would. But also, riding a horse isn't some kind of inherently easy thing. You still have to strain yourself to do that as well, as I understand it. Anyway.
Yeah, but you can go a
Poor
lot
thing.
farther distance.
Yes. Well, it's necessary sometimes to cross great distances. I don't know.
I'm just saying you should see if Echo wants to push herself. And if Greta wants to push herself. And if I want to push myself. Because we're the ones walking.
That's what I said. I said if you want to, we can go do that. I gather that you don't want to strain yourself. That's fine.
No, I'm saying you should ask Echo and Greta.
Echo is as I will do what's necessary.
You just gonna make her do it without asking her?
It's our duty.
It's really harsh.
That's the oath.
Does Echo or Greta look tired?
Nope.
Nope. If you want to push ourselves, we can push ourselves, I suppose.
Lyra, you can ride Greta. Gizmo can walk. I'm sure you
No.
can walk for a while.
You go ahead and ride Greta. You're much slower than I am. You're really slow.
I can't argue with that. I'm a bit
is.
slower.
It is your first day in your new body.
Yeah.
Actually,
I'm also
the
very concerned
second,
about
but-
the death thing.
The second day. Yeah. Death thing?
He just died. I don't want him to like strain himself.
Oh, I see. Yes.
All right. So are we camping or no camp? I assume we're not even close to getting out of the shrublands, right? That's
Correct.
days
But
away.
the question is, are you pushing yourself to make it to your original camp? No one is tired yet, but doing this will incur a level of exhaustion, which you'll need a rest in order to heal.
Let's see.
You'll have to get a good night's sleep, or else.
Or else. All right. I mean, yeah. Let's just camp here, I suppose.
So game mechanic wise, if we're exhausted, we can't rest after the fact. We would have to sleep first to be able to heal.
You would have exhaustion from pushing yourself, and then when you arrive at the camp, you could immediately go to sleep and try to shake the exhaustion off from there.
So we'll have like negatives until we rest, is what the exhaustion does.
Correct.
And then, of course, if we don't actually get a rest, there could be trouble.
Also correct. It's the
So-
dangers of pushing yourself.
Game mechanic wise, is it a -1, -2? What do we get for one level of exhaustion?
Disadvantage on all ability checks.
Whoa, that's
Do you remember
pretty
when
bad.
Lyra got exhaustion last time we pushed ourselves and I like you guys made the camp and cooked because I would get disadvantage on everything, even like
Yeah, that's
perception
pretty-
checks and stuff.
Yeah,
That's
that's pretty
pretty
harsh
serious.
payment. Yeah. All right, so I vote we don't get exhausted.
All right. Yeah. Let's stay here then.
Okay. I'm gonna need a survival check because you don't have a good campsite here.
I will attempt to set up the camp.
Gizmo's impressed. Wow, that you make it look so easy.
That's because it is easy.
Are you using your chef skills to either cook a meal or prepare a treat for the next day?
I don't have anything sweet, so unless I could make a savory treat, I will just make a meal.
Describe the nature of a theoretical savory treat.
We're in scrublands. Still?
Savory, like with pepper?
Yep.
I do have pepper, but I don't think a pepper would be in the treat. I guess I could try to make some kind of flat bread in my pan over the fire. And I have some dried fruits, so I can mix the dried fruits in the flat bread. But it would be kind of like a savory up until you hit the,
I'll buy it.
the fruits.
Yeah. So if you guys partake of that bread, you will gain temporary hit points equal to Cotton's proficiency bonus.
It's 3.
Nice.
You all go rest. Throughout the night, you are bothered on watch. Wild animals approach the edge of your firelight as if seeking whatever new creature is here, but none of them have the bravery or the capability of injuring you. We're talking small predators like desert foxes and like really mean rabbits. They don't bother you. They just kind of appear, sit at the edge of the fire where they think they aren't being seen, but you very clearly see them because of their reflective eyes. And then they wander off when they think, yes, that person with that giant iron steel sword, probably not to be messed with. When you wake up the next morning, the screen says, we're going on break. And then we went on break. We'll be back for the second half in about 8 to 10 minutes. Stick around, or don't. I'm not in charge. Well, I mean, I'm in charge of the stream, but not you.